Athletes, welcome back. I hope you are ready for some upper body pushing, some split leg work, and also some core work. We've got everything in store for you, so let's get ready and let's go. Welcome to your warm-up. We are starting now. Clock is going. We're gonna have our athletes get into their split leg work here. We've got Brock working on walking lunges, so he's gonna alternate legs with each rep. He's making sure that he's touching that back knee to the floor and then passing through full extension at the top. We have Becca working on split squats. During this time, Becca is gonna be going through no weight as well as Brock just to get a feel for their foot placement. A split squat means that our feet are gonna move to an end position and stay there the whole time. Lunges mean our feet move each rep. With athletes finishing this, the next thing we're gonna get into is we've got our push-ups. So I've got Brock going down to the floor. He's gonna be working on hand release push-ups. We wanna make sure that we pull those hands off briefly just to get full extension, full flexion through our upper body as we prepare for this. We've got Becca working on incline push-ups. Now, Becca is expecting, so we're working on a height for her that's gonna minimize, eliminate coning if that's something that you experience during pregnancy. And we found this 30-inch box works for her. She's making sure she's coming down and keeping that chest in contact with the box and then pressing out to full extension. The next piece that we have, athletes are gonna go ahead and stand up and get into a plank position. For our plank position, we're gonna have side planks for today. We've got Brock with fully extended legs, and he's going to the hardest version now. If we need to make this a little easier, he can go down to his elbow, and he can also stagger his feet. And we can do a combination of that. So we can go to a full extended arm with staggered feet, or we can go to that bent arm with stacked feet. You guys pick, but we're gonna go ahead and switch sides right now. We've got Becca doing a modified side plank to her knees. Now with this, we can change the difficulty by going to a straight arm. That's gonna give us less surface area we're stabilizing off of, and it also gets her body further away from the ground. We can make it a little bit easier by going down to our elbow. With both of these positions, make sure that you're keeping your core extended and we're not getting into this like shrimp position where we're pulling our hips back. So I'm gonna go ahead and athletes rest. We are getting ready for the workout. So take your cell phone, throw it across the room, grab your water, take care of the dog, whatever you need to, because we've got some fitness incoming now. The time has arrived. Our 10-second countdown is going now. Athletes are gonna get prepared for their split leg work. So we've got Brock with lunges, we've got Becca with her split squats, and go! Brock is doing walking lunges on this round. He's got his dumbbell extended overhead. He's gonna go 10 reps with the dumbbell on one side, and then he's gonna go 10 reps with the dumbbell on the other. Becca is doing our split squats here. And again, what we said in our warm-up, split squats means our feet go to an end position and stay there the whole time. Lunges mean that our feet are moving with each of those reps. We've got Becca switching over to our other side. We've got a box or wall-assisted split squat here. So she has her dumbbell on the opposite side of that box or piece that she's stabilizing herself on, and she's getting that back knee to the floor. You can adjust whatever you're stabilizing off of just to make sure that you feel safe while you're doing this movement. And as always, if the dumbbell's too intense, lower the weight or get rid of it completely so we can show quality reps here. After that, both athletes are moving into push-ups. Now, this is the place you're gonna wanna grind through and try to push, but I need quality reps here. So I've said this before, but if I go to the farmer's market on Saturday morning and you're selling push-ups, I want them to look so good that I want to buy all of them. So we got Brock breaking up his reps, which is a very, very good strategy. When you start to feel yourself grinding through those reps, get on your knees, stand up, do whatever you need to so that you can shake your arms out and get back into quality reps. We've got Becca going on her 30-inch box here. If you're using a box or a chair at home, make sure that it's stable. We don't want that sliding out from you. And we're also getting into that nice A-frame position. So when we come down, those hands are lined up with our sternum or even the top of our abdomen. We don't want hands up here. We've got Brock going into his side planks. He's gonna go 30 seconds on one side and then 30 seconds on the other. He's checking off the clock to make sure he's got that time down. We've got Becca going into her modified version on her knees. Both athletes right now are on their elbows. Remember, on future rounds, if you wanna try to increase difficulty here, we can go to a fully extended arm, but that is your choice. Whatever we feel like we can demonstrate good technique and good form with, then that's the version that we can go with. Brock is spinning around, going to his other side, and then Becca's finishing up the side that she started on. Again, this is not a race today. We're not worried about who comes in first. We're not worried about who comes in last. We're worried about who shows the best quality of reps. So make sure that you're taking your time here. We want to move with intention and purpose, but we also want to move with good technique. So Brock's got these feet stacked. If stacked feet is too difficult for you, you can stagger those if you like, but it is your choice what you do. Whatever you do on one side, we need to do the best job possible to mimic that on the other side. So Brock is done. He's got 2 minutes. He can think about his day. He can think about the next round that he's got. He can think about what he's got to pick up from the grocery store. We got Becca finishing up over here on her modified side planks. So during this time, one thing I will encourage you guys to do is I'm gonna make our athletes stand up and they're gonna move around. So we're getting into a lot of lunging. We're getting into a lot of upper body pushing. So during your rest time, use it wisely. Good athletes know how to work hard in workouts, but great athletes know how to recover. So we want to make sure that we use this time, get some nice deep breaths, think about how you're going to attack this next round. If you found that you did too many push-ups and you had to break them up too much, then think about how you're going to do this next rep set on our upcoming round. We've got 4 sets for today's workout. We just finished with number 1, and we're gonna be moving into number 2 in just a moment. Athletes will be going back into their walking lunges or their split squats. Again, if you guys found it was too difficult with the dumbbell or you couldn't show good technique, let's lose the weight and focus on nice, solid body weight reps. What I'm gonna have Brock do on this next round, he's gonna go from walking lunges to step forward lunges. We're giving you guys some variations on this movement that you can do in case you don't have the movement to walk out, go all the way down. Brock has a few knee issues, but the lunge movement is something that feels safe. There's no pain for him. So we threw on knee sleeves to make sure that we felt safe, secure. We've got that stabilization. One thing we want you guys to make sure is that using knee sleeves or gear like that is not going to be a crutch. If we can do that to provide warmth and stability to the area, you're not going to become dependent on it. It just allows us to work well and work safely. We got both athletes keeping an eye on the clock. We got that 2-minute mark coming up in just a moment. If you have watched our other videos, you know that Brock and Becca are married and Becca is expecting. She's 6 months along. And one thing that we really want to make sure that when we are going through pregnancy with an athlete, that we keep ourselves safe. So check with your doctor, make sure that you get releases on the movements that you're allowed to do, and then also think about keeping yourselves in the safest positions possible. We've got Becca testing these movements before we do them. She gives the okay, she makes sure that she feels comfortable with them, and we want you to do the same thing. If you experience any type of coning during your pregnancy, that's something we want to try to avoid as much as possible. And Becca has said that focusing on keeping her core engaged before she goes into reps really helps her with that control. If she stops thinking about it, that coning can show up. And again, if we experience that, we want to minimize it, eliminate it as much as we possibly can to keep mom and baby safe. Brock is moving on to our push-ups. And again, these are fantastic reps. Push-ups are the one that you can really cheat the standard on. So I want chest clearly on the floor and then full extension at the top. If this gets too difficult, we can get on an incline position or we can go to our knees. But Brock is giving us nice, even, steady reps. You don't see him cranking out a lot and then trying to rest. Each one, if you timed these, look exactly the same. So that's what I want to see. Becca is going into the same thing over here on our elevated push-ups. With these elevated push-ups, again, it's easier on elevated push-ups to get into a weird position with our arms. So typically, if push-ups are a weak movement for you, you'll see athletes get into this, where they crank down on that rotator cuff. We need to avoid that. We got to keep our shoulders happy. So make sure you're in a position or a modified push-up that's going to allow you to get into those safe positions and give us good reps. We got Brock going to the hardest version possible here. I can even make this a little bit harder on him. I'm gonna have him take his left hand and extend it towards the ceiling. And that's it. So in this position, he's holding the side plank. We've got 30 seconds on one side. We got 30 seconds on the other. I've got a surprise in store for him on the next round. I didn't tell him what it is, but we're gonna make it a little bit harder on him because this is even easy for Brock. You guys pick the most difficult version you can do at home. And if you're not where Brock's at, that is completely fine. You do your best. You showed up today to be better, to get fitter, and we have to do that in increments. So don't judge your standard off of somebody else's. find a way to make yourself a little bit better than when you walked into that box, that garage, that gym, wherever you were doing this workout. Becca's on her modified versions here. I can even challenge Becca by taking that hand that's on her hip and extending towards the ceiling as long as she feels comfortable with that. Both athletes are doing a great job of keeping that hip open. So as you get fatigued, you're gonna start to pull those hips in. Think about slightly engaging those glutes to keep yourself in an extended position with your hips. Brock is back on this rest, the man of stoicism. He's focused, he's ready for round number 3. For round number 3, what I'm gonna have Brock do is a step back lunge. So step back lunges are same movement, same range of motion, but now we're stepping our foot back, the working leg is staying forward. This is going to allow you, if you have issues with lunges and it kind of bothers your knees, step back lunges are a great alternative that we can do to get the same benefit, but work on a different way of loading. Becca will be going back into these split squats that she's been doing. For split squats, this is a movement that she spent some time figuring out where her feet needed to go. On our split squats, we want to make sure that our forward foot is staying flat on the floor and that knee is not drifting heavily over our toes. It can go over slightly, there's nothing wrong with that, but we do want to keep ourselves in the safest position possible. We've got round number 3 coming up. I see a couple reps at home. Those are looking very good. Make sure that we're keeping ourselves accountable. When you get into round number 3, that's the hardest. This is the hardest round for you by far. Because round number 4, you know you're done after that. But for number 3, I want to see even better reps than we gave on 1 and 2. As athletes finish up this 2-minute period, they're gonna go into their next round. Again, don't waste your rest time. I want you guys moving around. You can do some arm swings. You can kind of bend those knees a little bit just to make sure that we're not cooling down. We're not gonna be prepared for round number 3 when it comes up. We are gonna go into, once again, step back lunges, but if you guys wanna go with your step forward lunges or your walking lunges, you are more than welcome to. Don't feel like you need to change it up. I just always like to give you a little bit of options in your workout so that way you can choose what you feel is the safest and the most effective for you. On these step back lunges, Brock is doing a great job of keeping that arm extended overhead. If this is too difficult, we can always lower that dumbbell down to our shoulder if we need to. Brock is a champion. We got a 70-pound dumbbell over here, so he's working through, easy work for him. We've got Becca on the 50-pound dumbbell. I know, it's a little less, but she didn't want Brock to feel bad by using the same weight as him. We're going back into our split squats here. Again, both athletes are doing a fantastic job of not rushing through these reps. We need quality on this. The quality workouts are the ones where we're really gonna build that control that we need for when we start to apply intensity in the workouts that we do, where we're going for time or we're going for max reps. Brock is back on these push-ups. Again, he's breaking these up in amounts that work for him so that he's not going to burn out. And that's what we need you guys doing at home. If it gets too difficult to do these on the floor, we can elevate ourselves and we can do that elevated push-up like we've got Becca doing on our box. Becca is finishing up her split squats. And when she does that, she's gonna go to that elevated push-up. And with the elevated push-up, especially if you're an expecting athlete, it's very important that we keep ourselves in a strong position with our core. So I've given Becca the cue before and watching out during this workout that she's not getting into that banana position where we overextend. Becca finds that spreading her feet a little bit wider gives her a little bit more stability. Now for Brock, I'm gonna try to get him to take that left leg and lift it up a little bit in the air. Yeah, so that's even more. That is it. This is called a star plank, and he didn't know we were doing this, but as any wonderful, great athlete, he can adapt. And so you guys pick the version of this that feels the most challenging, but can still give us that quality. Once he gets done with this, he's gonna switch to the other side. And just as a spoiler, I have no more difficult versions than this. So this is it, Brock. You've reached the penultimate of side planks. We've got Becca working through these elevated push-ups. Again, doing a fantastic job of keeping that core engaged and keeping her hips in a position that prevents any coning from happening. If you guys find that coning is happening as an expecting athlete, let's change those up. We can go down to our knees and do our push-ups on an elevated surface from the floor. We just want to make sure, once again, that we keep the priority of the safety of the mom and baby in mind at all times. Pregnancy is something in the past that has been synonymous with weakness by popular opinion, and that is the opposite of the truth. Moms are strong, and we want to keep you guys strong throughout this entire process. So you are not weak. Let's find ways that we can really push ourselves, but do so in a safe manner so that throughout the pregnancy and then even afterwards, you make a quick comeback and then you're right back to where Becca's going to be on that 70-pound dumbbell going against Brock. We've got round number 3 done, and we've got our last and final round coming up. So we got 4 rounds total in this workout. You guys are doing a fantastic job at home. If you were slightly in front or slightly behind us, that is completely fine. You have to keep in mind that we are looking at quality here. So no rushing, no trying to go through these reps and beat the person that's next to you. I'm impressed by good reps, not by time on this workout. We've got both athletes on our 2-minute rest here. Again, on our 2-minute rest, I'm gonna have them move around. They wanna make sure that they're pushing those knees through that range of motion. Let's do some butt kickers. Let's do some arm swings. We wanna keep our body warm. We wanna keep everything moving here. So this is what I like. That's what I want you guys doing at home as well, is make sure that you're working through those range of motions. If we do some air push-ups, we can do that. We can do those arm circles. We can even show ourselves some self-love and give us a big hug back and forth, alternating arms on top. With our legs, this is the 4th round. We've done a lot of lunges up to this point. So doing those slow butt kickers, getting through that full range of motion. If we need to make an adjustment on our weight here, we can. If we need to go down lighter, we can. If you wanna go heavier, I gotta see good reps. So this is not ego lifting here. If you feel like you can challenge yourself with a little bit of a heavier weight, but you can still show me even better reps than you did on 1, 2, and 3, I will allow it. But if I see those deviate, I'm making you go back down. We've got Brock going into his last round, and here he gets to choose. It's dealer's choice if he wants to go walking lunges, step forward, or step back. You guys can choose any variation that you feel the most safe with and the most efficient in terms of showing us a good form here. He's going through 10 reps on one arm and then 10 reps on other, making sure that dumbbell stays locked out the entire time. We got Becca getting ready for her last round of split squats. Again, on these split squats, we're making sure that we're nice and stable. Each rep should look exactly like the previous one did, touching that back knee to the floor. Play around with the foot position, make sure that knees feel safe, they feel comfortable as well. We've got Brock finishing up with these lunges, and he is moving back into his push-ups. These guys are they're machines when it comes to push-ups. I'm very impressed by this. Again, we are being smart in the way that we break these up. This workout is for quality. I know I've said that a million times already, but it's easy to lose that sight when you're in round number 4, because now you're thinking about what you're gonna do after the workout. You're thinking about what you're gonna eat after the workout. Stay focused, stay intentional with these movements that we're doing right now. Brock is doing a great job of getting full extension going all the way to the floor. Don't cheap those reps. I know the trick of going belly button to floor instead of chest to floor. So give us full range of motion all the way down, all the way up. Change these to knee push-ups if we need to. Change these to elevated push-ups if we need to. We've got Becca on her last round of her split squats. She's doing a great job of using that box for stabilization, but she's still making her legs do the work. That box is there so that we don't fall over, so that we don't tip. We got Brock going straight into his star planks. This man, very, very impressive. With the star planks, this is an advanced movement. So if you guys want to challenge yourself, you are more than welcome to put these in here. But if you want to do your plain side plank, that is perfect as well. We're focusing on keeping that core engaged, and we'll feel that work in our obliques on each side. He's got 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other. I could give him a no-handed side plank, but that's for our next video. So we're not gonna pull that one in today. Becca is working through these push-ups, once again, doing a fantastic job keeping ourselves in a nice solid plank position when we're going through these push-ups. Becca was finding that it was hard for her to not get into that overextended position, so we adjusted feet, and then that was the key to getting us into that position that we wanted. We've got Brock finishing up with his star side planks here. We've got Becca going into her modified version with the arm up in the air. She's throwing down as well. She's a mom and she's strong, so she's showing off what she can do here. We're gonna go, Brock is done, and he is gonna cheer Becca on, give her a little clap. We got Becca going through her last side here. We got one more side after this, and then we'll be done for today's workout. Again, if you guys are behind us right now, don't try to speed up to catch up. We want you to keep going. Again, this is for quality. anytime that we do one of these workouts, if you're in front of us, behind us, keep moving with wherever you're at, because we want you to get the full volume of this workout in. Your fitness is your own journey. So you may be a little bit in front of somebody on that journey, a little bit behind, and that changes through the seasons. You may be a little bit fitter now than you were. You may be a little less fit than you were, but it matters that you give your best effort with wherever you are in the current moment. And that's what we want from you guys. Becca is finishing up her final side plank, doing a great job of keeping those hips forward, making sure that we're keeping that core engaged all the way through. We're coming up on the final seconds there. Our athletes are done. Great job, Brock and Becca. We are finished here. You guys finish up all your reps. Don't cut it short. Make sure that you go all the way. Athletes, fantastic job on the quality you gave us today on your reps. It was another great workout. We look forward to the next one. If you guys enjoyed today's workout and you are not a part of the Mayhem Athlete community, you are missing out. We've got tracks that range from functional fitness to CrossFit to at-home workouts to bodybuilding to anything that you could possibly want to get a better version of yourself. The Mayhem Athlete community is a group of like-minded athletes and coaches that will be there along your entire journey to help you achieve the goals that you would like. Whether it's being a better version of yourself or even taking the competition floor, Mayhem Athlete can provide that for you. Now, it's to the point where I know that you're about to sign off, but you're not gonna do it without checking out the mobility that we have right here. So make sure you click on there, cool your body down, take care of yourself, because it just took care of you in this workout. And remember, as always, be kind, be a good person, and join us again next time for another great day of fitness. Thank you guys.